Yo, people, welcome back to Lion in the Room. This is episode 7, and I'm happy to come back to see you guys. I'm your host, Leo, and I got my boy, K.
Hi, guys. You guys all right?
How's it feeling, bro? How's it feeling?
Oh, yeah, man. What episode is this now?
It's episode 7, episode 7. We've been doing this for a while, man.
Almost there, episode 10,
Close to
special
10.
maybe, episode
I was thinking-
10, 20.
I was thinking of what we would do. I was thinking of what we do for an episode 10 to make it special, to make it memorable.
Yeah.
Because, aside from changing intros, things like edits and that, I really want to be able to have a lasting effect with, obviously, the starter episodes. Because I really believe that Lion in the Room can get to, 20-something, 30-something, 50-something episodes, bro. Imagine at some point going into 2025, or some point in the middle of the year, next year, and we're still going strong, bro. We're still going strong. More people coming on. And the good thing about it is that I get to start off with my friends. Obviously, having you on, you're now kind of like a co-host. Not even kind of like you are a co-host on Lion in the Room, and we have you. We get Oge on, we get Kweku. We even got Lana on last episode.
Yeah.
Such a high energy episode, man. So definitely getting ready for more. Definitely getting ready for more, man. But we're just gonna keep having fun. We're just gonna keep working. We're just gonna keep grinding. A little bit of context, also just to let you guys know, because we are recording a bit later than usual. This is Saturday, so we're recording during the weekend. Normally, we try and get these things done Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Friday mainly, but
We're just tired,
working.
guys. We're just tired.
And I come back I'm meant to come back 8:30. I get back home 8:40 something. Kay's gotten back late, and I'm just like, yeah, guy, look, let's try our best to record this the day after. And here we are.
Yeah. That's why the episode is late, but, we're just tired, guys. So, but
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one still. But, hey, Lion in the Room, episode 7. Let's get into it. I like your hat, bro. Where'd you get that from?
You know what? My grandma got it for me, actually. My grandma got me this hat.
It's nice. It's giving me what's that vibe? Not really, obviously, camo, so military vibes.
Yeah.
But it's nice, bro. You got obviously black jacket, white tee, black shorts. Don't know why you're wearing the shorts, because it's cold.
My legs are like iron, so I don't really feel this cold. Not yet, though.
Yeah. But it's a nice cap, man. What's that? What's it say on the cap?
Yeah, I think it says Mexico Espallada. I don't know if I said that.
I can't really see it that well, but it looks like it starts with an S.
Yeah.
But that's really nice, bro.
My grandma, she went on a cruise and was in Mexico on the cruise, and then she got the hat. She got 4, and then she told me, okay, pick one of the 4. I saw this one. I was like, yeah, I like this one. I like being inconspicuous, just just an average, ordinary guy, just wearing a hat, feeling very cool. But yeah, I like that hat. Thanks, Grandma.
No, it's nice, bro. All people will be surprising me, because you're either going to get the ones that got the knee pains and they're not moving and the rocking chair, or they're going on a cruise. They're traveling the world. And that's honestly lovely, man. But props to your grandma for the fashion style, for the styling. But we're just going to get into the little recap. So we've had 7 episodes now. And I want to say that, I want to confidently say that we've improved with every episode. Episode 1 started off, I had Oge on, and then episode 2,
you
made your debut. Hey, come on, thinking alike. You made your debut. And I noticed that there was a lot more structure in episode 2, because we had a topic, and then we had a few questions to ask. We cracked some jokes, obviously, but I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite thing about, being on the podcast for the first time?
I think honestly, it's we're young adults. We're growing. We're going through life, having experience. I think it's just nice and therapeutic to just come on, put a camera in front, just talk with a friend about just your life experience, shared life experience. We've known each other 4 years now, pushing 5. And it's we've had similar life experiences. We've gone through uni. I mean, there's never been a script for how to do this life thing. So it just feels like, okay, from what I've been through, these are some of the mistakes I made. These are the good things I did. Here's how to avoid the mistakes. Here's how to build up on more good things. Pass on the positive message to the youth. Unfortunately, in today's social media, a lot of people, not everybody is more just focused on, making clout, blowing up, being a nuisance to the public just for the sake of, giggles and just whatnot. And I always think at the end of the day, it's always good to just, put a positive message out, just be relatable. This is what we're going through. We're not superhuman, we're just humans like people on the other side who are watching
Exactly.
this video and
Exactly.
just, passing messages on, just giving advice, having tips, sharing stuff. And yeah, that's just what I really like about this podcast.
I really like the fact that we are able to still have fun because sometimes my mind can get really foggy. Like it can get really mixed up when you're trying to, or at least when I'm trying to find a topic that will be insightful, but at the same time it's going to be fun. But every time I get to look back at the channel page, like to manage my videos and things on YouTube Studio, I be seeing the views. I be seeing like it keeps increasing.
Yeah.
It's minimal, it's small to probably like a big time YouTuber, but to me it's huge. Bro. Imagine you had 50 people in your house, just your apartment as it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the 53 people listening to your podcast. And it's just like, damn, I'm still gonna feel really good. And I feel really good. I feel really good about it, man, because it's just what I want. It's just what I've been wanting to do. It's just what I've been wanting to do. I get that opportunity. Like you said, it's like a new wave of content coming in because we have a lot of people trying to make different content. And in making that content, they lose an aspect of morality, or they drop a bit of their principles just to get more people to watch. Because truthfully, all you need are the people watching. You get a few likes, but if you get the people watching, that matters the most. Yeah. So you get a lot of people just focusing on that. And that's just what I like about Lion in the Room, because we want to be authentic. We want to be our actual selves.
Yeah.
And we always try to let people that are coming on know. I mean, Oge, Kweku, Lana, just three of them for now, but we've always tried to let them know that, hey, be comfortable. It's the same thing as if we were talking in my room, your room, or wherever we used to chill, man. So that's nice. I want to go into, let's say, episode 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Episode 4 and 5, we had you on. Episode 3, we had you and Oge on.
Yeah.
So let's actually add episode 3 in as well. I enjoyed having guests on.
Yeah.
It gave us like a second opinion, an extra opinion when it came to particular topics that we had. I mean, talking about music, Oge being more into music, more into that type of media, it gave us the perspective from someone that wanted to follow that career. Going into, social media and the stuff, I never used BBM. I just had to act like I was using BBM. I'm like, oh, yeah. But getting Kweku in, who's just a few years older than us, he then gets to bring in that nostalgia.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely used BBM, obviously, because that was what interested you. I really wasn't interested in social media, bro.
Yeah.
So having him on, I get to hear that aspect, because then when people listened to it and saw me, tweaking out because of it, they were like, you didn't use BBM. I'm like, yeah, I know. I just had to act for the camera. So that was nice as well. And then getting Lana on. Lana was a whole different person, in terms of emotion, personality, and like you said, energy. He was really high-spirited. And at points, there were moments where he was calm, he was relaxed in telling his viewpoints,
life experiences.
Exactly. But he was able to return to, the usual energy he was given, and it was lovely, man. He never really acted out of order, and it was just a lovely experience, man. I really enjoyed it. Like, it gets me thinking, like, who are we gonna get on next? We actually want to get our boy on, like one of our close friends on. And we're gonna have a lovely time when he comes on. He was meant to be our guest this episode, but
just clashing schedules.
Things are just clashing.
We're just tired, like doing a 9 to 5.
Exactly, and he's working as well, man. And things like he's been working a lot longer than we have.
Exactly.
So his is definitely a lot more structured. So as much as I want to have people coming on, as much as we want to bring out episodes, consistently, as we will. We're going to keep doing that.
We definitely will.
Everyone has a life, and as time goes on, we're just gonna keep going on with it. We're just gonna keep doing it, and we're gonna see how we can get more people on, and better flowing conversations, better structure, just a lot more for people to enjoy.
Yeah. I think one thing to point out, just to tell the people at the camera, well, we will be bringing people on. You know, it might not be every single week that we bring someone on, but you'll definitely see the two of us because, you know, it's the two of us. But yeah, you know, next week we are planning to bring our boy on, just trying to get the dates right, everything settled and all that. This week is just going to be the two of us. You know, we'll get onto the topic in a minute. You know, it's really nice seeing people, you know, in their different parts of life. You know, we had Kwaku who was doing his thing. We had Oge who's also in his creative, Lana in his creative, and it's just really like everyone's just a collective, you know, just giving out their own personal opinions, and we just keep doing more of that, more and more people getting different perspectives, you know, because that at the end of the day, that's what we're here
100%.
to do. We want to discuss with like-minded individuals, also people with different perspectives, and just being able to have healthy conversations on the channel.
Exactly. Also, probably another thing that I noticed was probably correcting, you know, small errors. In episode 1, I was talking about, obviously me and Oge, we went into a little bit we went into film, went into media a little bit, and I brought up The Godfather, you know, the movie The Godfather.
Yeah.
And I messed up, like I mixed up names. So I said the wrong name when I was meant to say Marlon Brando. So he was the one that acted The Godfather, but I don't even remember what I said. But my mom was quick to remind me. She was like, who did you say acted as The Godfather? And I was just like, oh, I said it was I messed it up. I messed it up. I was just like, oh my days. So I definitely had to correct that, but I never said it since. So for anyone that sees that episode 1, just know that in episode 7 there's going to be a big correction. Yeah. So you know what? Put in your comments the favorite moments, your favorite moment from any of our episodes. Let us know.
Yeah.
Because we are still trying to clip up the shorts and bring them out, you know. But put your favorite moment in the comments.
Did you ever think, like, you know, for like maybe one of the bigger episodes, like maybe episode 10, maybe 20, 30, we do like a little compilation of all the other clips from the previous episodes?
I would like to do that. I would like to do that.
Just something like maybe a subscriber special or something like
that would be cool, you know, like you actually see like the funny moments, because there have actually been some funny moments. Episode 1, there were a few. Episode 2, obviously we were talking about financial stabilities and marriage. Like, come on, imagine you're living in your dad's house and your wife is living in your dad's house too with you and stuff, you know.
I really hope that doesn't happen to any of us.
No, man. If that was to happen, like, I mean, hey, everyone's situation is different, you know, and that's also something I like to raise up. Everyone's situation is different. Wherever you find yourself in life, you don't need to feel ashamed, and we are not trying to shame anybody for any kind of any situations or life choices they've made or found themselves in. But I guess as people, we have expectations, and I want to believe that as my own individual, everyone else will have expectations of themselves too. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's always a perspective on, you know, being lazy, but there's a general perspective as well. Yeah. And there's a general perspective of people that don't work hard, and people that don't want more for themselves in life. So when it comes to marriage, a lot of times I want to imagine you're your own person. If you're your own person, you don't want to be in your dad's house no more, especially when you have your wife and then you have plans of bringing your own kids and stuff. It's always going to be fine because, you know, family could be lovely. You know, your parents are probably still going to be understanding. No one's really going to try and kick you out of the house. But some people are different. Some people may look down on you and so many other things. Your spouse may even look down on you, you know, because that was not the plan. Yeah. And if that was the plan, you better go get some new plans. Yeah. That's really not the way to live.
I'm not going to, you know, kick anyone for thinking what they want to do with their lives, but, you know, just for me personally, it's not something that I'm looking to do. Like, because, you know, when I'm married with my kids, you know, my wife, kids, I'd like for us to be in our own home, because at the end of the day, the Bible says when a man leaves his family, he joins to become one with his wife.
Yeah, true.
So it's like you're basically creating your own family now. So it's like your own immediate family. Mm-hmm. You've left your previous immediate family. Your wife has done the same. Mm-hmm. And it's just better for you guys to just, you know, be your own person, be yourselves in the comfort of your home. That's just what I think.
One happy family.
Exactly. One big happy family.
Leave your dad out of it, man.
Yeah, and your mom too.
Yeah, of course. Now, okay, I feel like sometimes we do have, you know, lighthearted conversations. Yeah. But, you know, the whole point of lying in the room speaking to people is being able to educate, being able to give insight or advice. And with this topic, it's a very sensitive topic, but I feel like we will be able to shed some light on it the best we can, and in the most respectful fashion as well. Mental health. It rings a few bells in people's ears, and for some people, it's not really a big deal. My first question to you is, what is mental health, and how did you come about realizing that it was a thing?
So, I was born in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was born in New York, but I was there for when I was a little kid, maybe I think a year or two. I came back to Nigeria. I was 3, and I grew up in Nigeria. Obviously I was still traveling around the world. And, every summer holiday, my dad would take me and my mom would go one place here and one place there. So it's like I'm experiencing different cultures and whatnot. But from what I've experienced in living in Nigeria, I wouldn't say with everyone, but I would say with more of the previous generation, the concept of mental health isn't really a thing. Like, it wasn't until I started interacting with people from like the Western world, people from the US, people from the UK, because I had friends who either they came from abroad back to Nigeria when they were older, or people that left a lot earlier.
Yeah.
And it's like over there, it's like that's when we were now, this whole concept of mental health, trauma, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think because mental health isn't something you can see on your face. Like, you can see someone smiling,
yeah,
and they could be very down, like, so what I think just mental health is like your state of being, just like, while your body is, whether you get in physical injuries, with mental health is like, just your emotional state of being, when someone's happy, when someone's sad, when someone's perpetually, angry, like that's what relates to mental health. Mental health it's a very unique thing, because at the end of the day, it's abstract, but it's not physical. But at the end of it can have physical consequences.
True.
So that's just personally what I think mental health is.
I like that because it does have physical consequences. It's either it's either going to affect you solely, or it affects people around you. Either you are the one doing the affecting, or your actions are just hurting people, that kind of thing. And honestly, I didn't really think of it as much. I didn't even think of it as anything, the earliest throwback to any kind of mental health relation was, the typical madman you see in Nige. You see the madman, scruffy, dirty, shirtless, torn trousers, whatever, probably even naked, bro. You never really know the standards. And everyone was like, yeah, see that madman, leave that madman alone. Don't come near that madman. All those kind of things, But that man could have probably been someone suffering from any of the medical disorders that they point out today. And even as I got older, I still didn't see it as something serious, because I felt like it wasn't a thing. If you were sad, you were sad. You just had to come to understand that, things change and you move on. You had to find a way to pick yourself up. But coming into the UK, to study, I began to meet other people. And in meeting other people, you begin to hear about other things. You're now open to particular syndromes or particular disorders that people mention, and they say these things, confidently, that these are things they're working around. But I was still kind of like, how is this such a challenge? How is it so hard for people to advance, to move past, these mental challenges? Until I had my own mental challenge, And before we get into stories, I wanted to ask you, do you have anything you feel like you want to ask me before we kind of like share our own experiences in it?
Okay. Actually, yeah. Come to think of it, like, because you had a different experience to me in regards to growing up in school. You were in boarding school.
Mm-hmm.
I was in day school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like how when I know you mentioned when you say like if you're happy, you're happy. If you're sad, you're sad. So how did you resonate the fact with like because you would go to school for weeks at a time, months at a time,
Yeah.
not see family. How would you like have seen it? Without using the phrase mental health, how would you have regarded it back then?
When I went to boarding school, damn, I was sad.
Yeah.
I was sad because came in, got introduced, got my uniform, everything, and my parents left, my family left. And I was sad, man. So a week after not seeing family,
Yeah.
you're still sad.
Yeah.
But you're kind of telling yourself you're here to study. I was 10 years old. So even just the concept of, oh, I don't think I can handle this, or like, oh, this is really affecting my mental. I never really thought of that. Why would I?
Yeah.
If I felt sad, I went and I told the housemaster. But one thing I didn't realize was that the housemasters were not my parents.
Yeah.
Some people will be soft and accommodating to your feelings and things. Some people tell you, well, you're not the only person in the school that their parents have dropped, So I guess that didn't help, because then it's kind of like, okay, well, in a way it's like suck it up, suck up, forget about that. I just had to keep pushing, I was sad. I was sad. I couldn't find any. I can't really find any other way to think about it. To describe it really, because I still had to go on. Teachers, your housemaster would come. They'll get you ready for school. They'll get you ready for classes. They'll tell you to go take a shower, get your stuff ready, go for breakfast, and you had a structure you would follow. Maybe in following that structure, I thought about it less.
Yeah.
Because obviously you have other people that are there, other people that do actually miss their parents, other people that do miss their friends, other people that are also struggling like you. So you guys kind of band together.
Yeah.
So I did have some friends there. And after a while, you wouldn't think about it. Then you hear that your visiting day is coming soon. Your parents are going to come visit you and things like that. And so my mom, then
all the feelings
realize all the feelings kind of come back. You were so lonely, you missed everybody, even if it's just that one person you see. But after they left, you kind of returned to the normal. So I'm still going to be here for a few more months. So it's going to be so long. I never really thought about how I was going to handle it until I got bullied. I think it was the introduction of bullying, that then made me think of how I would manage in school.
Yeah.
How I would go to classes. And after a while, it was like, I beg, forget it. Because I didn't also know how to let my parents know about these kind of things, because you were always told if you snitch, more's gonna come to you.
Yeah.
So in a way, most definitely it was affecting the way I carried myself, the way I went to school, the way I spoke to people. I became very timid.
Yeah.
I became very anxious. I have always kind of been anxious, but I feel like that's in every person. You are always going to be anxious until you make, your first move in anything. But I became really anxious. I was afraid to answer questions. I was afraid to talk to people. I was always looking down as well. So it did affect, my mental, because I know that there were some things that I carried for a while.
Yeah.
I've let go of them now. I'm literally going about my own life, trying to manage, trying to go about things, trying to look at the things that I can control. But in secondary school, at least the first 3 years of secondary school, I did have a hard time.
Yeah,
I did have a hard time.
I think it's normal, to be expected, because like when I was first going to primary school, obviously I had separation anxiety. My mom would go and
Exactly. Oh, mommy.
yeah, exactly. That was really crying, mommy. But it's like I'm still gonna see it again that day, so it's not like you where it's like you won't see them for months. But it's like even then it was still like really difficult, because it's like I didn't start going to school till I was 3.
Mm-hmm.
Was just like, obviously I adjusted in time, you know, it was quite quick. But like just that, oh, my mom's gone now, because like I'm always used to seeing my mom and my dad, and it's like, oh no, you know, mom said bye bye to me, because initially when I first started, my mom used to sit in the classes with me, like
really, okay, wow,
like that's how much I was like, okay, I needed my mom to sit in the classes. But then when she now left, I was devastated. Like I was devastated. That's one of my core memories. I can remember the age of 4. You know, my mom was good. I'm like, no, don't go, don't go. You know, I just like, you know, but what can you do? It has to happen. You know, you're gonna grow up. One day you'll be an adult by yourself, so it has to happen. But yeah, I think that's really interesting to think about, because like, you know, in boarding school is like, there's no going home. Yeah. You only go to the dorm.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, whatever you're facing in the day, you're also facing it at night. Where especially because, you know, I'm sure it's like, you know, all you people in the dorm in a single room, maybe bunk beds or all that. And it's like, were there ever any like mental health services? Nothing like that?
No, nah, bro. Sick bay.
I did.
That was a sick bay. But like, it was, you know, African countries, I feel I can't speak on any other because that's where I came from. A lot of mental disorders or mental things or mental practices, just anything mental, you know, a lot of times is seen as madness or spiritual activity, spiritual warfare. Exactly. Not saying that every single thing they're gonna holy water, but like you sit down and ask yourself. You have to sometimes sit down and ask yourself, do these guys take this seriously? You know, because they're not seeing it on my face. It's very hard for you to go and tell a teacher that I can't come to class today because
I'm not in the. I'm just
I don't feel it. You know, I'm not feeling it today, man. What do you mean? It always felt as though that was not enough.
Yeah,
you know. And for me, I never really had a reason to be like, I couldn't do it. If I couldn't do it, you know, I probably just wouldn't do it. And that was really how it was, but there was never really an opening. There never really was an opportunity for them to come to talk to us and tell us about how hard it is to be in secondary school and stuff. Because you think about it, it's actually a bit difficult. See, look, you're studying, you have to study, but mind you, you're going into an environment with people you ain't never met before. Be it your age, be it younger than you. You also have people older than you.
Yeah.
You know, you now have to manage. And you being a young child, I was always taught to be friendly to people.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you start getting bullied. And I'm the kind of person that if you did something to me, I wouldn't want to be next to you. I wouldn't want to be around you. But these were the same people that would still, you know, probably send you to go do stuff, you know, send you to go do things for them. And before you knew it, man, you were just continuing the cycle. You start doing it to other people.
Yeah.
So how would you really expect a young kid, boy or girl, to go through, like, you know, life in school, being boarding or high school, day school, whatever it is, not knowing what to expect? You know, being young, you're still going to be kind of rash. It's going to be hard to understand, but you should at least be given a heads up.
Yeah.
My parents gave me a heads up. My mom gave me a heads up. You know, my dad always told me to be watchful about my friends. He was always very serious about it, you know, but my mom was a lot more caring. Not serious, but my dad was a lot more stern. You have to have a mix of both. Stern and caring.
Dad,
exactly.
Dad's always gonna be stern. Mom,
you have to have it. You have to have it. So my dad's kind of like, you know, you're there to focus, you know. Somebody puts their finger in your eye, you put your damn finger in their eye, that kind of thing, you know, like, because you have to be strong. But your mom, you know, she might hear that and she's like, no, you know, you have to be like this, you have to be like that. Still be calm, still be respectful, because there's always going to be a use for both, you know. But in the heat of the moment, what did I do? Whew, I cried or I fought.
Yeah, exactly.
you cry or you
both.
You both. So like you see, like sometimes it's even hard for you to put that into motion just because it's your first time experiencing it. You know, sometimes I wish I had a cooler head so that I could look at situations. Maybe if it was hard, if I had to cry, cry when no one saw me.
Yeah.
Because that still affected me, Kids are cruel. People still pick on you, and damn man, like gee, mental health or don't these kind of questions.
This
Life was hard.
thing.
Life was hard.
It's really like, especially because like I was a day student, so I could always go home, go to my TV, go and watch TV, play game or something. But it's like in school, because I growing up, I wasn't a violent kid. Like I wasn't like you hit me, I hit you back type of kid.
Yeah.
Naturally, I just shrug it off. Like things, for some reason, my parents just like said, there was one kid, like he's like my cousin, right? He's my cousin. He was always trying to, fight me, and it's like I'm just like not really like reacting to it. It's not that I'm crying. I'm just like, oh, okay. I mean, are you done? But it's like as I grew older in secondary school, it's like obviously I got into fights, with sometimes most of the times it was with people older than me.
It felt like the way to defend yourself.
Exactly, because with seniors they were trying, little boy you.
Honestly.
Like, and for me in my mind it's like you can't really do that. I'm the oldest I'm the oldest child. So
I'm the oldest grandson. Like,
I can't come to my siblings now trying to do older brother after they've just finished sonning me in school. So it's like, and it's usually over things like football. So it's like, you at that point, because my dad, he will now tell me like, obviously, you're a good boy, you're very respectful. It's just don't let anybody punk you. Don't let anybody like play you for a fool.
Yeah.
Obviously don't go looking for fights. Never go and start any fights.
Yeah.
But like if somebody is fighting you, you have to defend yourself. And it's like, at some point I picked that up. Because it's like, okay, cool. I didn't go looking for trouble. I never went, everyone knew me as like, okay, I don't go around looking for fights. But if someone comes for me, then that's when I give them my trouble, And it's like, with kids, it's like, it's the same thing, with the olders, they're always trying to like, they'll try and son you, they'll, try and, tell you what to do or that and that. And then it's like, okay, as a kid, you feel like you're being picked on and it's like, you have to fight back. And the thing is, back then, it's like, we don't have mental health. No, it's just the sick bay. They take you, if you injure yourself, go to sick bay, lie down, then you come back for lunch or whatever period you were supposed to go for class. Instead, like, so obviously we had our ways of like hashing things out. Either we hash it out on the football field, go and play, maybe like we'll do 4th and 5th grade versus 6th grade, because 6th grades, they were going through puberty, so they're already bigger than us. So, or 4th and 5th, we band together. Let's do our best on the field.
Honestly, man, I get you. For me, all my days, bro, you either had to get into a fight or, you lay low, it's nothing, or ignore it. But it was really hard to ignore it, Another thing that was hard, when it came to your mental, because this is for everybody. You start off as a kid and then you grow. Going into university, it's not the real world, but it's almost like a simulation of what you're going to see. Still being around young people, still being around older people in your lecturers, people around, you literally live around the neighborhood, that kind of thing, based on how the campus is and whatnot. I feel like it's still an issue for people coming into that aspect of life and then coming out, because some people realize that they still don't know what they want to do. How does that happen? How do you think that happens? I feel like I know, but
I think so. I'm going to give the perspective of someone that's, I was raised in Nigeria. That's the only perspective I can truly give. I think coming from Nigeria is like, there are certain aspirations and jobs that are seen as acceptable. Doctor, lawyer, mainly doctor, lawyer.
Something that will get you money.
Something that will get you money and put you as prestige. Being a footballer is not seen as realistic. Unfortunately, with fair reason, like I get it, but at the same time, but like obviously now we're in the age of social media. Being a YouTuber is a joke. Like being like, that's how it's seen. Being a YouTuber, or you want to do content back then is like, what are you talking about? Like, who's making money from that? So it's like a lot of people may want to be one of these aspirations that are not in the stereotypical, okay, you go to school, you get your degree, you get your job, and that's it. So maybe someone wants to be a basketball player, somebody wants to be a social media influencer, someone wants to be a model. You don't particularly go to school. I mean, you can go to school for modeling, but the ideal route, there's no fixed route for in those types of qualifications, jobs, basically what you want to do.
Yeah.
And with that being said, so someone who wants to be one of these things is going into university not particularly knowing what to study, because the things that they're saying you can study aren't relating to, you know, what your aspiration is. Like, you can't go to study a course on how to be a footballer at uni. So some people just end up picking, okay, what's the best one that just looks good to my parents? A lot of people end up picking business. I picked business. I didn't pick business because I didn't know what I wanted. Like, I picked business because I want to do business.
Yeah.
But a lot of people end up picking, you know, stuff like that. They could pick business. Maybe they could pick I'm not trying to throw any shade or anything. Maybe like agriculture or something, like psychology, something like. I'm not trying to insult anyone's university choice.
No, not in the slightest.
Not in the slightest, but I'm just trying to say something that they know that they could probably do while not caring about it and still get through. And that's just where the problem lies. So once now you've graduated, it's like, okay, what am I going to do now? Because this degree I have has absolutely nothing to do with the thing I actually want to do.
Yeah.
So people may sometimes just get a job just for the sake of it. Maybe they go get something at Burger King or something, pick up a part-time shift, work at an agency or something. And that's just where the problem lies, because it's not like the path for them to get to where they want to get to is not clear. There is no straightforward road. Like, if someone wants to be a doctor, they go to medical school after university.
Of course.
Do that for, you know, several years. Then they start practicing. It's very clear. Same with law. Very clear, you know, very straightforward. But with that, with other, you know, less straightforward aspirations, it's a bit difficult. So now it's like you've graduated, but you're just in the phase of, okay, what am I going to do in my life now? You know, that type of thing. That's just how I think, you know, that's just where I think it's all headed at.
I agree with you. I agree with you to a point, you know, because you get into uni with a vision. You get into uni with a mindset. Of course, you don't just go in there thinking you're gonna play your life away or mess up or anything. You go in there with the intention to finish.
Yeah.
You know, but even before that, how did people get to a point where they didn't care about the course they were going to? Where was that support? You know, and I would definitely say that there are some households where that parental support is not there. You know, they've sent their kid to school, they've done their part. You know, my mom be telling me about that stuff sometimes. There are people, it's there in this world, bro, in this lifestyle. There are people that pay the school fees, and that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else is up to you. And I'm asking myself, how do you expect that person to now learn everything else? You know, you've paid the school fees, they messed up, maybe they didn't get good grades, and maybe they're getting insults or all that frustration, you know, knowing that you spent a lot of money and this child of yours doesn't know that, isn't really meant to sit down and think about that, you know, 24/7, and they're not doing well. So you're now throwing insults, or you're, you know, beating them, or any of those things. I'm not really coming out to call out the use or anyone's parent, the actions of the parents, but it's really the lack of support.
Yeah.
If you're not able to support your child as they go through school, letting them know that it is a process, even if you're telling them, hey, you're going to get there, at least they know that this happened. Oh, it's not really what I wanted, but I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
That's a lot better, because you are still pushing your child.
Yeah.
Causing your child to have aspiration is still support.
Yeah.
If you don't give your child aspiration, then they're just going to be lying by the way.
Yeah.
They're really just going to be lying by the way. And then they get into uni where they have to pick a course. They're no longer having, you know, the classes and the subjects given to them by the curriculum. they now have to pick a course. Someone's picking an art course. Maybe they've decided that, they're going to be very adamant to their parents' choices on them wanting to be a businessman, and they're going to do an art course. In doing that art course, you no longer have support, but they're still paying your school fees. You could definitely be doing harder. You still could be doing well, but it affects you knowing that, my parents aren't really having my back. Let alone the other things that come into mind. You're still meeting new people. You're still trying to make new friends. You might get betrayed. You might get disrespected. You might feel like you've shared way too much to a significant other, and things break down, and almost immediately you break down. There is no longer a will to continue. And some people even go farther than that. I've come to see that mental health is taken very seriously, but in my perspective, sometimes I feel like it's over exaggerated because I can never understand what people experience because it's never happened to me. I can only speak on the things that I've gone through. And I've been in a state where I felt like I could no longer move forward. And it was something that latched onto me for a very long time. Literally think, bro, like late 2020, literally going into the lockdown.
Yeah.
It didn't even take time, bro. It was first term, second year from there. I was not happy. I wasn't happy with the way things were for myself. I wasn't doing the podcast. There were so many factors that I allowed, because what happens today isn't going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I kept on thinking about yesterday. I kept on thinking about what happened. I kept on talking about what happened. Now everyone around me only thinks about what happened to me yesterday when they think about me. I'm only bringing I'm only bringing that somber mood, that bad energy. I feel like sometimes there are different ways to go about your mental challenges, but for the things that you can control, get a hold of it.
Yeah.
If you don't get a hold of it, then it's going to become a bigger problem. It's going to become a bigger issue. And for us, bro, we have our faith.
Yeah.
We have our faith in God, knowing that we can speak to the Lord and pray and let him know about these issues, regardless of how it's going to be solved. We don't need to worry about the how. We just need to worry about the fact. We just need to focus on the fact that it's going to get done, but we need to make ourselves available for God to work with us.
Yeah.
So for a person that don't believe in God, what can you do? Remember that there are things you can control and things that you cannot control, because you realize that you're only worrying about the things you can't control, because those things seem to affect you the most, but honestly, they don't. For us as kids, it's hard because we don't understand everything. But in forcing ourselves to understand everything, we only lose.
Yeah.
We lose that understanding. We lose the understanding of what we already know. Why? There's no need to feel that stress. And when you now think of ways to, when you now start thinking of ways to go about fixing your mental health or overcoming those mental challenges, you realize that you have people you can talk to. And if you don't have people you can talk to, there's always an opportunity for therapy. Me personally, I don't feel like I need to go talk to someone outside my family circle on how to better my life. I've been blessed to have parents that listen to me and give me advice based on their own, personalities. And the advice they've given me has always found its way to work for me. You know what I mean? It's just for me as a person, I need to be able to take people's advice. I need to be able to, think a little. Sometimes you have to stop and think about the situations. And truthfully, man, it could be things that are bigger than you.
Yeah.
For us, nothing's bigger than God.
Yeah.
But for others that don't know God, for others that haven't seen God, you just need to understand that there is another opportunity.
Yeah.
What's that saying? As the sun rises, so it sets.
Yeah.
As something comes, it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Bad things come and bad things are gonna go.
All right, guys, welcome back. We went on break. Before the break, actually, I wanted to also just point out what you had said. You know, at the end of the day, because we were just talking about how there are things you can control, there are things you can't control.
Yeah.
What happened to you yesterday won't necessarily happen to you tomorrow. Is something my mom always used to say. Everything is in seasons. You know, as well as not all good things last forever. It's the same thing. Not all bad things last forever. Everything will always stop.
Yeah.
You know. There were times in secondary school where I had horrible days. Like an example, like we did a sports day. They scored 4 goals on me.
Yeah.
I was the keeper. Our keeper at the time had come off an injury, so I'm sub keeper, and they scored 4 in the net. Everybody watched. My crush at the time was watching.
No.
I tried to catch the ball. I could not catch.
And from there, your day is ruined.
The day was ruined. The weekend was ruined.
The whole weekend.
But the next week, that was it.
Nothing. No one's really talking to you about it. Maybe, because people might be talking to you, it's like, goalkeeper.
Yeah, some people came in the morning, goalkeeper, like, wow. But then after that, by afternoon time, it had been forgotten.
Nothing. It was nothing. Exactly.
I thought it was going to last forever. I thought this is the end for me. But, so at the end of the day, like, to those that may be going through something right now, nobody can truly understand what you're going through. Only you can. But I just want to say, like, it's not going to last forever.
Honestly.
No matter how long it does, it will have its conclusion, And at the end of the day, just focus on the things that you can control. As a Christian, I leave the things that I can't control to the Almighty. I leave it to God. And that gives me my personal peace, knowing that, okay, I got the greatest force
honestly
on my side. I'm cool. I'll just do my part, focus on what I can, and we move.
And even with that, it's still like, we're not trying to make it sound like it's perfect. It's not perfect. It's still hard, It's still hard sitting down and telling yourself, Lord, I put my faith in you. You don't see immediate action, because you don't know what God has in store for you. And then for those that choose not to know God, for those that choose not to see God, you still find it hard to sit down and tell yourself, well, tomorrow is going to be better.
Yeah.
Brother, there's still 3 more hours before tomorrow reaches, and you're there beating yourself up. It's understandable, but everything has its time.
Yeah.
Everything has its time. And remember, life isn't perfect. Yeah. And even if it was, it's not going to be perfectly good. It's not going to be perfectly good. So the bad will come, the bad will go. And if it's a person making things bad for you, you've done your best and you've tried to cut them off, it's still hard, they will go.
They will go.
You just have to realize that you cannot let them affect your life because they are not in your life. They're only in it if you let them.
Yeah.
They're only in it if you let them. But the mental is so much more. And like I said already, we're going to have, honestly, by God's grace, we'll have another episode. We'll have another, like a part 2. We'll have another episode where we get to talk about mental health from a more psychological perspective, because there's always the facts. There's always, the 1 in 10 chance and little things like that. There are people that find it hard, and, not everyone, struggles and is in a dark place. Sometimes some people are in even worse places. There are psychopaths and there are killers, and they have that whole mental persona, that whole mental health bubble surrounding them. There's a lot to go into. Like, are these people genuinely mentally affected, or are these just ploys? Because as helpful as mental health awareness can be, it has also brought in some form of deceit. It's always been there. You can always kind of pretend, where not us, but some people do pretend, oh, I'm sick, I can't come to work today. And then they go travel to Cuba or something like that, So when it comes to particular ailments, we have seen people come out and say they have this issue and they actually don't. Terrible things, even like school shootings and things like that, we can never really justify, and I can never really come out and say what's in a person's head. But when it comes to fatal things like that, when you're taking the life of another person, or when you are seriously damaging another person, you have to actually sit down and ask yourself why more measures were not taken.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we won't get into that. We won't get into that. We would actually talk about celebrities as our last segment, because I believe celebrities, a lot of times, depending on what aspect you're coming from, you're an entertainer. Your job is literally labeled as entertainer and nothing more. But fans and the glorifications of these people put them on higher pedestals. Sometimes it's good when they are positive influences, and sometimes it's bad when they're influencing you negatively. But I want us to focus on the fact that even these guys have their bad days. I think I remember the last time I spoke about this on Afrocast, my previous podcast. I mentioned Kanye West.
Yeah.
And I will still mention Kanye now because he continues to grow. But the thing is that his growth is not really impacting him positively.
Yeah.
He had a whole phase in his life. I don't see any other word to use aside from it being a phase where he comes to Christ.
Yeah.
And then he disappears for a while, and he has completely changed. He's taken the whole 180 or
180.
180.
Yeah, he's going the other way now. Yeah,
180. And it's surprising, but then there are different aspects where people have questioned Kanye's mental health. There have been different aspects in media where they have openly come out to say that he's bipolar and things like that. I think they've said that he's bipolar, right?
Yeah, I think it was something. It might be bipolar. I think so. Yeah,
just like different mental specifications, and you have to then ask yourself, is this the person I'm looking up to, or the person whose music I'm enjoying, or even just the fact that people forget that this is a guy or a lady just like you. We're just gonna speak about it generally, but what do you think about celebrities and them talking about their mental health? Because I feel like there are some people that come out to openly point out their mental health, like a basketball player that I really enjoy watching, DeMar DeRozan. He came out talking about his mental health as well.
When he did that.
Yeah, exactly. He made his book. He has a book.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you're kind of brought back to reality. You're brought back to earth, and you see that this guy that's scoring 20 points a night, 30 points a night, whatever, he's doing the things that you feel you can't do. Damn, this guy is so inspirational. Remember, he's having a hard time as well. Michael Jordan, he played and his dad died.
Yeah, I remember
what was he going through? But then you expect him to come out every night and still be Michael Jordan, Jordan, that's what's in your mind,
Yeah.
But you forget that these guys still come back home and have a hard time. These guys still come back home and ask themselves, is this the life that I'm really living? Is this the life that I want to live? Some people sit down and question their choices, So talk to me, bro. What do you think about the whole mental health bubble with celebrities?
I think one thing to note is the fact that with celebrities, a lot of their fan bases, a lot of people tend to put them on the pedestal where they see them as like something beyond that of an ordinary human being. They hold them to incredibly high standards.
Yeah.
So they expect them to meet these standards each time. And I think with that, it leads to this psychological pressure, like, my fans are expecting this. It's like musicians. You see how it is with musicians. If someone releases an album or an EP or a single and it's bad, you know how it is on social media. People are brutal. They will say it's horrible. They will make jokes like, "Oh, I was paralyzed from the hip down, and for the first time I got up and turned this music off." And it's imagine putting something out there and you see someone saying that and it's trending. It's like, how is someone actually supposed to just process that? Like, you're watching your work, something you took time and effort, just get destroyed, you verbally berated, just people laughing at it, turning it into a meme. And with that, it's like people forget, okay, yes, their life is more exposed to the public than the average person, but at the end of the day, they're just a human being like you.
Yeah.
But
then, sorry to cut you in, because this reminds me of a conversation we had when we were in a different accommodation. We were talking about Kyrie. We're talking, it was me, you, and Chidi. We were talking about Kyrie Irving, basketball player, big name, and he was, that whole topic, the earth is flat,
Oh
his
yeah.
life, he took a while out and everyone was really bashing him. Like, even NBA personalities were bashing him, and I said, I came out to say that at the end of the day, he's still a human being like everyone
Yeah.
else, because even you came out, you were saying that he needs to come and play. Yeah, he was refusing to play games.
Yeah.
He was refusing to play games, and you were like, oh, that it wasn't good because he has to turn up for the fans. He has to come out. It's literally like your job. You
Yeah.
come out, you're working.
Yeah.
So you have to come and do these things. And not trying to bash you or anything, but it's good that I'm remembering this now, because these guys are really just human beings. They're
Yeah.
really just human beings. Regardless of the fact that, hey, it's in your contract, you do know that you need to turn up, you need to do this, you need to have, it's like code switching in a sense. You need to be that personality
Yeah.
in front of everyone else. You can then be yourself at home, but it's hard to manage.
Yeah.
It's actually hard to manage. What do you really want? No, when you actually know, or when you feel like no one else really cares what you want.
I think at the end of the day, while yes, they are human beings, everyone is a human being. I think with the nuance of, being a public figure, entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
you bear the risk of putting yourself out there. At the end of the day, it's always a risk.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna agree with what you have to say. People come from all walks of life. People have different home trainings at home, not everybody was raised on, respect or, mind what you say. Some people were brought up in a house where like their parents would humiliate them in front of others.
Yeah.
As form of discipline. I think with that is like at the end of the day, when you put yourself in this position to become a public figure, maybe you start your aspirations to enter the NBA, for example, you have to understand the fact that your millions of people are going to watch you. Millions of people are always going to be. People are different types of personalities. People will be critical. We have we call them football pundits here, but there's sports presenters. They give their takes on the game. First take. They're always going to give their opinion. Everyone's always going to pass an opinion because everyone has an opinion at the end of the day. With the Kyrie situation, I think where that came from when I said that was, at the end, he is in a position that a lot of people would want to be in if they had the chance, the not even necessarily the fame part, but just the success, like, the financial success, the prestige that comes with it is like you're doing a job that would I say 99% of the world is unable to do.
Yes.
They will never ever reach where you are, And while that makes people feel entitled to say, you're supposed to be superhuman, at the end of the day, he is still a human being. He is still feeling emotions. He does still go through stuff. So while, personally, I can understand if he doesn't want to play, if he can't play, if he has a mental health situation, he can't play. There's nothing that can be done for it. We expect him to play because that's what he came into the NBA to do, to play. He came to play for a team, and that's what his contract, his signed contract expects him to do.
True.
So yeah, part of me does expect him to play because, like, it's Kyrie Irving. He is one of the star players of the team. And on the other half, you can understand where, it's a mental health thing. If you and we have our jobs that we do, I personally haven't gone through it just yet, but like, you may go through something where it's like, okay, mentally you just aren't disposed to do it today. You just can't do it today. And it happens to everyone, and it just can't be helped, So while there is that part, another thing with being a public figure is like people develop this expectation of you. They feel like they're close to you.
It's part of the illusion.
Yeah, it's part of the illusion. And, it's like parasocial, like they call it parasocial relationships. They think they know you. They're your friend, because maybe you post something, you interact with fans and whatnot. But at the end of the day, you don't know any of these people.
No.
They're human beings who go through their own stuff behind closed doors where you don't see. a lot of them will probably never even meet these people. You
True.
know, you don't know them at the end of the day. You don't know what they might be going through. So yeah, you know, they're public, they're seen as amazing, they have something that is in demand. But at the end of the day, they're still just human beings who are going through their own emotions, just like the rest of us.
And with that, you have to then be able to you have to be able to find a way to balance it, you know, because it to avoid contradicting ourselves as human beings, we have to understand that there will be good and there will be bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes these things come, you know, they come together, they go hand in hand, but there will always be a time for it. There'll be a time for the good and there'll be a time where the bad just comes unexpectedly.
Yeah.
But the bad's going to pass away. When you are having mental struggles, it's good to know that other people have these struggles as well, but everyone's life is individual. Let's just put that out there. So I would always say that you should find a way to help you ease out of that box, that challenge, that mental hurdle. If you're able to overcome it, then you know you're prepared for the next one. But the next one could hit you tomorrow, and then you realize, oh, I'm not really prepared. So you should be able to find instances and ways for you to pick yourself up, or if anything, for you to gradually move past that hurdle. Sometimes it's not really going over it. Sometimes you can go under. So people are definitely say, take your time, you know, look at the things you can control. If you have a faith or religion, if anything, you should have, you know, you should be able to place your faith somewhere. And for us, I would say that Jesus loves you and the Lord is the one true person you can talk to without the fear of anyone taking that that sensitive information and either, you know, breaking your trust or sharing that information or making you feel like you made the wrong choice in confiding in someone. If you're not ready to confide in people, try confiding in God, because he's definitely listening. There's this thing in the Bible where it says that the Lord counts or knows the number of every strand on your hair, and there is a bottle for every tear that you've dropped. That's come out. It sometimes some people feel like it's far-fetched. I'd say it's metaphorical, you know. It might actually be literal, but for people to sit down and understand it, it's literally just saying that the Lord will always remember. The Lord will always know. The Lord will always be aware. I might forget that tough time you had 3 years ago, but God's always going to remember. Me as your boy, I'm still going to be there for you to confide in. You need some solace or any of those things. I'm still going to be there, but God's always there. His presence is always there when it's needed, and all you have to do is call on him. So there are so many different ways you can talk to somebody. You can take your time, but only you can, you know, get out of that chair. Only you can stand up. Only you can be like, this is not gonna hold me. Don't let it hold you. And you don't have to wait for anyone to really understand what you're going through. You don't really have to wait for anybody, because if you wait for somebody, that person might never come. But if you achieve it and if you overcome it, then you can definitely help someone else to overcome it as well. I feel like that's everything that we would honestly have to say. Okay, my boy, you got any questions for me? Final questions.
Final questions.
Let the people know I'm a great speaker.
Actually, you know what? I think I wanted to ask actually just this one thing. Actually, you know, when we were in uni, how was it for you when like you first came, like, you know, that first time, you know? I'm sure you know what in regards to the culture shock, you know, how it's different in Nigeria than it is in the UK. You know, especially considering I think you went when you were 17. Yeah, exactly. So you're, you know, younger than the average of people that are usually expected to go to uni. So I was like, in terms of just like mental health, because obviously when we first came, it was like, well, okay, this mental health is a new concept. We've known about it, but it's now new. We're getting introduced to all these new things. Like, how did you handle it? Like, what was going through your mind at the time?
I was scared. I was scared because it was a new experience. I was living on my ones. And I've always kind of been this kind of person. It's not good. I've been this kind of person where I'd be thinking negatively. I'll be thinking negatively sometimes, and it's hard for me to go about things because I'd be scaring myself from doing it, you know. So came to the UK. My mom was with me for a while. I love my mom so much because she really be sacrificing a lot. Like her and my dad be sacrificing the time they spend together just so that she can come and spend time with us and, you know, balance everything, make sure that we're all situated. So she was doing that for me. And I remember the day I was going to my first class. I was probably going to one of my classes the day she was leaving. And then she was crying on the phone. And I was, you know, you want to act like you're a big boy and stuff, you know.
Don't worry,
so it's kind of like, I'm fine. I had to stop somewhere on the road, bro, just going to the corner because my eyes were getting red. It was hard. It was hard knowing that I was going to be on my own. I didn't now, like, she used to stay in this particular hotel and I could walk from where I am to the hotel if I had to go see her. I didn't want to pay for a taxi or something. But it was difficult. Meeting new people in Niger, you hardly ever saw a European man, a white man, whatever. That was like most of my class, even Asians and things like that. It was very hard to communicate because I did not know how to communicate. But truthfully, all you just need to do is say hi. All you just need to do is, you know, introduce yourself, and you will then be able to see the people for you and the people that are not for you. But it was very hard for me because I was always overthinking. But after I actually met a friend, you know, Somto. I think I always keep telling you, Somto was from my secondary school.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this before, I remember.
And that's how I started to know more people, and then I knew a lot of people. And then after, I started knowing, you know, just my boys, and I had my own circle. But I struggled, and the one thing that I always did, I always kind of kept my struggle to myself, which is an issue. I would always tell like young men, I wouldn't tell them to keep their emotions bottled up, but keep their feelings bottled up. Obviously, you have to be in check. You have to keep your emotions in check. But the way you feel about something, or you feel like you can't push forward, don't just tell anybody. Like I've already said, talk to God. Or if you have a very close friend you feel comfortable telling, tell them. But you speak to family. I had opportunities where things were hard, and in some cases I didn't speak to family. But if I could replay it, I would. You know, and a lot of times you don't do it because of fear. A lot of times you don't do it because you're really afraid of what's going to be said or what's going to happen next. But really, come on, you have to understand that, like I've already said, these things happen. Good things come, bad things come, but they also go. So you need to be able to share. You need to be able to find a way for you to confidently challenge these things, so that you can grow out of that dark spot. Because everyone's going to be in a dark spot at some point, but you need to be able to pick yourself out of it. And for me, it's God, it's Jesus, it's God. I've been in situations where I probably wouldn't have been able to come out of it if not for God, if not for my parents, if not for my dad. And my dad is still gonna give glory to God. My mom's still gonna give glory to God. So I'm gonna still give glory to God, you know, that kind of thing. But I hope I answered your question.
It was very. You had a similar experience to me, you know.
Nice.
Like coming, because I came, you know what, the year after. Yeah, I came out the year after. Same thing, you know.
Big shock.
Johnny just come. You know, I used to look like
yeah, man.
Johnny just come, like, you know, I was just coming from
ordering Indomie from Amazon, bro. That was the lifestyle.
Wow, bro.
That was the lifestyle.
You know what? Deliveroo and Uber Eats almost finished me.
Yeah, man.
Like, because I thought I got catering, like a catered room, and I thought, okay, this is gonna last me for the week. Wednesday came. No. I had to call my mom. The food, the credit, I finished. Like, fortunately, you know, I'm blessed to have the parents that they're like, don't worry, we have it covered.
We
just
got
sent me money. I said, okay, cool, thank you. I didn't speak to them again. I didn't speak to. I should have called them again. I didn't speak to them today. I said, yeah, it's okay, thank you. I was back to forming hard guy again.
I'm telling you, bro, because you really want them to know.
Please, this is not finished. I'm hungry. They said, don't worry, we got you. Back to forming hard guy. Like,
I'm telling you, man, it was literally just rinse and repeat.
I think that's the thing. Like, I think with international students, there's like this unique perspective. It's like you're moving from home, you know, because a lot of people that live here, born and raised, when there's holidays, they just go home.
Yeah,
we stay. like a lot of us we stay in the dorms and we're like, well, this is it. Well, we'll just sit here, I guess, you know, because like when I first came, I came January, and it's like March hit the lockdown. I was just like, oh, that's my first year gone. I sat inside our room from March till September. I don't even know how I did it. It's just like the culture shock, the pandemic. It's like all these things. I just came. I'm new. I don't know all these things. Like you're trying to acclimatize. I was still in the process of like selecting my friends, you know, because back then I was speaking to a lot more people than I do now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this one, I don't like him. Okay, this one, there's something off with him. Go away, you know. And you were one of the people. I said, okay, this one. Okay, you move to this.
Yeah,
you come here. You
swipe right.
Yeah, you swipe right. You come here. Okay, stand here. Okay, I'll hold you. Then I met Chidi when I came. I said, okay, this one too. Come. After that, it's like I've locked the gate. I'm not interested again. Everybody is an acquaintance. You know. I think again, I have to thank God. You know. I'd say you're a good friend. You're a good, like-minded friend. You know, we're both Christ-centered and Christ.
I have brain.
Hey, you get brain. You get sense. You're a friend I can show to my friends. Okay, this one. Yeah, this is my friend. Okay, it's good. It's like, cause truthfully, like we were in uni together. We've seen guys crash out, completely crash out, mess themselves up, get arrested by police that one time. I'm not gonna mention names.
It's random, yeah.
Yeah, it was so random. Or they get into a fight with someone backs out something. I don't want to, you know, let's YouTube not catch us. You know, it's just really like personally, or as a Christian too, I have to give thanks to God. Like, you know, give all the glory to God, because so many things could have gone wrong. This is my first time. I don't know any of this before. I'm new. I don't know.
You're literally starting.
I'm starting fresh. I don't know. Blank slate. I know nothing. But you know, I say we came to the best outcome. You know, it could have gone so wrong.
Of course.
It could have gone so wrong. You know, we got through uni, we did all that. We're working now. We're doing the podcast, giving people advice, because you know they're starting now.
Yeah,
freshers ended.
Oh yeah, bro, a whole new cycle.
If I check, what month? This is October. Freshers ended. It was in September. Yeah. You know, people falling into there are people right now falling into bad groups. Unfortunately, you know, it's really sad, and I pray for them to escape those bad groups.
Of course,
some of them won't. That's just how life is, unfortunately.
It's the solo choice.
It's all a choice.
It's being able to grow.
Exactly.
It's literally just being able to grow. I've come to realize that people will make mistakes, and there will be people that will bash you for it. But hey, there are people like us that will prefer to scold you, but still tell you, hey, that's life.
Yeah.
I remember I made the big mistake, bro. Start of the year 2023. What did my parents tell me? Hey, it happens to everybody. You make a mistake, but you have to be careful. You have to be aware.
Yeah.
Some people don't see that. Some people look at it like, oh God, oh jeez.
Like this is the end of the world.
Exactly. Some people become rash. Some people point fingers, you know, but try. Sometimes I find it hard, bro. I come back realizing I don't have a lot of money, bro. I realize I got bills to pay.
That struggle.
It's hard, bro.
It's hard.
But I'd definitely tell any young person that's willing to listen to me, man, that there is definitely gold once you get to the end of the rainbow.
Yeah, there's gold at the end of the rainbow. Just look. Man. It might be frustrating to hear us tell you,
because we're young too.
We're young.
What do we have?
You might feel like, you might get angry, like, oh, why is he saying it's gonna end? They don't know what I'm going through. I don't know what you're going through, but I do know that it's not gonna last forever. It will end. You know,
if it lasted forever, that'd
be scary.
That'd be a terrible book.
I wouldn't know what to say at that point. You know, you may feel like, because I've been in that situation. Someone's telling me it's not gonna last, but it's like, I'm still in it now, and you're telling me it's not gonna last,
bro.
Forever.
I almost crashed. I'll be asking people like, how? What do you want me to do?
What do you exactly?
Tell me. What should I do? And you can't be a defeatist, bro.
You can't.
It doesn't sound right, because at that point, if you were me, bro, after saying that, bro, I feel like a clown. I'll sit down actually thinking to myself, should I have said that?
Yeah, like, really, should I?
Because, nah, man. Just calm down. Mental health is something that should be taken very seriously. So if you feel like you are struggling with, you know, your mental, speak to people, because that's the whole point of a community. That's the whole point of a community. And the Lion in the Room community loves you guys so much.
We love you.
I'm going to close it here. Try and take care of yourselves. Speak to your parents, speak to family. Parents always, put your hand in your children's lives because they're literally an extension of you, and you want the best for your kids. Your kids should want the best for you. How you doing? How's your day? Little things like that. Parents, kids love your parents. You go to school, make good friends. You've made some bad friends, fine. Step away. You get into bad relationships, fine. You learn.
Step away.
You learn. And just feel good. Everything's an experience. Life is an experience, but you don't need to experience everything. But like I said, take care, people. God bless you.
We love
you. Lovely. Lion in the room. We're out. Peace.
Bye.